Well, hey, today we're gonna have some fun. So I had some friends reach out and they're coming from out of state, thinking about relocating here to DFW. And one of the places they're considering is Cedar Hill, Texas. So we're gonna take a drive and go check out Cedar Hill, show you some good, some bad, some new construction, because that's what they really wanna see, and check out some stats and all the fun stuff. So I'll bring you guys along with me as we go talk about Cedar Hill, Texas today. Let's go. So I've made it to downtown Cedar Hill, kind of show you around a little bit in downtown. There's a Italian restaurant down there, but had to do this because apparently everybody that talks about Cedar Hill shows up at Babe's. They talk about it like it's just a great thing. And don't get me wrong, Babe's is awesome. It's great chicken, but it's not like unique to Cedar Hill. There's several locations here in DFW. Great chicken. So let's keep driving around Cedar Hill and see what all other fun things we can find that maybe is in Babe's. Ever have those moments when it's like one of these things is not like the other? Well, I'm actually right outside of downtown Cedar Hill. I'll show you this. So we're kind of walking, well, not walking, we're driving around looking for some new construction communities to show you if you're thinking new construction home, is what you might find. And it's always interesting to me, like when you drive through older parts of town and you see homes that are like knockdowns and full rebuilds. So this is a new construction home. It's 2,300 square feet. They've got it listed right at $479. So you've got a few of these projects that are happening around Cedar Hill. But in terms of developments, I want to show you a couple places that are actual major developments if you're looking for new construction in Cedar Hill. All right, so I'm racing against the rain to try and finish up. So a couple of options when it comes to new construction in Cedar Hill. We're actually in Bear Creek. This is a First Texas development. And the really cool thing about this is these are all 3/4 acre lots. So you can kind of see everybody's got some space. Obviously there's a house going there. I mean, even looking here, you're not right up on top of your neighbor, which is a pretty cool thing to think about because 3/4 of an acre is no small thing. So I want to give you kind of some stats on this particular development. So this is going to have a 2.73% tax rate, which is a little high. Yeah, 2.73, but again, in kind of a normal world here in Texas, North Texas, we're looking at somewhere between 1.9 and 3.2. For 2.73, $528 annually on the HOA, and it is Cedar Hill ISD. This particular house we're about to walk into to show you. So this one is almost completed. They're saying, this summer, almost complete. This is a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage, 2,700 square foot. And they have this one listed at like $515. So kind of give you an idea of $515 before any sort of incentives. So we've got dining room, butler's pantry, pass through into the kitchen, large island. It's gonna have a large fireplace there. Let's come back this way. I think we missed something. Okay, so study. Oh, hidden secret stairwell. I was not expecting this to be a 2-story house, but it is. So here's your laundry space, and then bedroom, bathroom, bedroom, bedroom. Let's wander upstairs. Upstairs, I bet is just your game room. Let's check it out. Yep, game room. Nice. Okay, we're back downstairs. Let's go check out the primary. Primary suite. This is a good sitting space. And then there's the bathroom. And your back patio and backyard. So you can kind of see, fence line, kind of where it'll run. Makes a big sort of L shape on the yard. So First Texas is the only builder out here in Bear Creek. They have several options, several different floor plans. We've talked about First Texas on my channel before. I'm a fan of them. My biggest downside, honestly, with them is the time it takes them to build. They tend to run a little bit further behind other builders, but in terms of quality, closing cost incentives, and the way they care for their buyers, it's a good product. And again, 3/4 acre lots goes well. But we are on the far side of Cedar Hill, technically almost back to like Ovilla, Red Oak area. This is where you're gonna find most of the development, honestly, in Cedar Hill. So we're a little ways away from shops and restaurants and grocery stores, all that's right there on 67. I want to take you to one more new construction community here in Cedar Hill before we head back inside and look at some other things. All right, so just up the road, literally like just up the road, like 5 minutes from Bear Creek, we now have Stonehill. And this is here's the playground. You can see kind of their building. This is a D.R. Horton community, and only a D.R. Horton community. It's gonna be a part of their traditions product, which is kind of their, I guess what they call their upper tier, but it's still D.R. Horton. So take that for what you want. I'll tell you my thoughts about D.R. Horton in another video. All that being said, D.R. Horton product, this is Stonehill. It's only gonna be them in this neighborhood. You can kind of see where the development's happening at the playground. Starting prices, $375, $380, depending on home choices, things like that. So you're not gonna get a lot of selections. This is gonna be pre-designed. So you're not going into design centers and doing all the fun stuff that goes with that. This is, a D.R. Horton product. It's gonna be coming, and so the plus side is they're gonna finish it really quickly. The downside is they're gonna finish it really quickly. So take that for what it's worth, but another new construction option if you're out here in Cedar Hill. It is interesting to note though, when you look at this one on their website, it shows like elementary schools and middle schools for Cedar Hill, but DeSoto High School, because we're kind of right on the edge. So I'm interested to know like if that's legit, if it is actually DeSoto High School, or if that's a typo on their website. But that would be something to note if you're thinking about this particular community in Cedar Hill. All right, well, we got rained out. We're gonna show you a few more things in Cedar Hill, but the rain came and kind of got stuck. So I get to finish this out here in the office, which is okay. I wanna show you a couple things. We're gonna look at like school district grades, median pricing, some stats, and just kind of finish out our thoughts as we close out on Cedar Hill. All right, if you've never been on niche.com, it is a phenomenal tool that provides a ton of great data. You can look at school districts, you can look at crime, you can look at city data, all that stuff. Niche.com, we'll throw it on the screen so you have it. But overall, we're looking at school district grading out for Cedar Hill. If you're thinking, hey, we're moving out here, we have kids, we want, that's an important thing to think about. Overall grades out at a B-. You can kind of see what it says on the full report card. Diversity is great, academics is great, teachers are not grading out well, clubs and activities. So you've only got in Cedar Hill one high school, so it is going to be highly competitive if you're thinking sports or fine arts or things like that. Highly competitive to get in those spots. As a school district, they're showing 7,000 students with a 17-to-1 teacher-student ratio, which overall is about average for here in North Texas. One of the things I think is important to also have as part of the conversation is I know we were talking a lot about new construction, and I kind of said earlier, hey, there really wasn't a lot there, but this is kind of everything that's listed in Cedar Hill. So it's not like there's nothing available, but most of Cedar Hill was built out over the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years even. So you'll kind of find a lot of that in there. But I want to give you some perspective on like, hey, if you were going to you were shopping in Cedar Hill and you decided, hey, we have to for sure be here. We like what's close by. Here are some options, kind of, what does your money get, just out of curiosity. So this house here, this is a 1,863 square foot house built in 1986. It was $485. They've dropped it to $480. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath house. Looks like a good sized yard. Got some fun outdoor space. Beautiful pergola. That kitchen is blue. Huh. Interesting. Well, we're going to leave it at that. Okay, so blue kitchen, built in, 86 for $480. If you, let's just say, hey, top end of the budget, you're curious, you're like, oh, money is no object. I'm going to buy whatever I want in Cedar Hill. Let's just see what that top end budget would become. This house here is 9,251 square feet. It is on 24 acres. It is 5 beds, 8 total bathrooms, and it is a cool $11 million. So what does $11 million get you in Cedar Hill? Oh, this is going to be a new build, looks like. Maybe not. Yeah, this is concept. This is not even built. So maybe you want to save your $11 million. Let's look at maybe something not as expensive, just because it's fun to look at. Okay, found you a deal. Not $11 million. We're down to 1.3. 5,400 square feet, built in 2016. It's 5 acres, 5 beds, 6 bath, kind of a Spanish style home. If you're looking in Cedar Hill, this beautiful home could be yours for $1.3 million. So really, not too bad. Beautiful kitchen. Saw the pool throughout the window. It's always funny when you see houses like this and it's like, oh, I wish y'all would put a back fence in. That's a very black tub. You don't see like dark tubs like that. It stands out. It's really cool. So back on market, 1.3 million. If you're looking at the top end of a higher end budget in Cedar Hill, you could look at something like that. So we've talked about resale. We've talked about new construction. We've talked about schools. I want to show you too, like, because I'm a nerd, and I think it's fun to look at stuff like this. These are the market trends. So if you're looking at Cedar Hill, this is median sales price, and so average median sales price in Cedar Hill is going to be $325. So not it's not a super expensive market. So there is stuff to find here. There's just not going to be a lot of new construction in the Cedar Hill area. So here's what I would say, and we're gonna run it back to the graph here in a minute. I think if you were looking resale, I think Cedar Hill could be a really great option. I know we joked about the stuff on the high end, but there were some really nice homes in that like 300 to 500 range that you could find, and it would be in a established neighborhood that would be great. Be kind of close to all the shopping. Like when you look at that map and you're like, oh, where's everything located? Like if you're looking at Google Maps, and we can put it on there, 67, like everything is kind of right there along the highway. So as you spread outward, you're going to be driving back into town, whatever, relatively, to get groceries and shopping. There is a ton of shopping. There's all kinds of shops and restaurants right there along 67. So you have things available. But here's what I would say. If you are for sure thinking new construction and you want to be kind of on that south side of the Metroplex, down 35, 67 area, I would suggest maybe we go a little further and we go to Midlothian. I want to show you this. So what you're looking at here, like I said, a little bit further down 67, you want new construction. This is the graph of the inventory of home sales by month, specifically sorted out by we're gonna actually sort this by new construction, because I think again, if we talk about new construction, I'm a big new construction guy. This is what people are asking me about, so I want to be honest and transparent about it. So when you look at this right here, you'll see that number on the bottom of the screen. New construction inventory, like these are listings. So this is not everything. This is just how much is listed. Cedar Hill has 27. And I think I showed you most of them today in those two communities that we were talking about, the D.R. Horton one and the First Texas one. Midlothian, on the other hand, is showing 135. That is a significant jump, and it only moves us down the highway about 10 minutes-ish, give or take. It also, with the new construction that's happening in Midlothian, it is closer to grocery stores, Walmart, more closer in toward town, versus like what we were looking at in Cedar Hill. It's kind of on the outskirts, almost toward DeSoto, Old Villa, Red Oak, that area. So you're going to drive a little ways to get back to where you have restaurants and shops and bars and things like that. Not that there's a ton of that in Midlothian, as there's more growth happening out there in Midlothian than what is in Cedar Hill. And if you wanted to go even further, I'm curious, if we added Mansfield to this list, what would that look like? Because there's a lot of growth happening in Mansfield. So let's do that. Okay, so in adding Mansfield to that list, yeah, it's pretty close along with Midlothian. It's at 155 versus 135. And again, we're seeing Cedar Hill down at 27. So personally speaking, I think you're going to get more bang for your buck. Midlothian, I will say the prices are going to be a little higher. You're going to see it on a higher price, but you're also getting into Ellis County, and you might find yourself in a favorable tax position if you said, hey, we're going to move a little further down south. If you're thinking about like, hey, you're looking at your map and you're like, oh, I want to drive from Cedar Hill to, let's say you work at AT&T downtown. You're like, oh, where could we, or just that general area. You're looking at probably a 25-minute drive without traffic. You're, 35 minutes to Love Field to the airport if you're thinking about that. So if you're thinking down south and you want new construction, Cedar Hill may not be the best option. I would tell you, hey, let's keep going to potentially Midlothian or even out to Mansfield if that's the area that you want to be in and be part of that growth. Guys, thank you for hanging out and talking numbers and letting me nerd out on things like that today. Appreciate it. Hope this was helpful to you and your family as you are thinking about, hey, potentially moving to the south of the Metroplex, whether you're here in DFW or you're relocating. I hope this was beneficial to you. If you need help in the new construction space, I'm here to help. My contact information is at the bottom of the video, but I can't help if you don't call or if you don't text or if you don't email, because there's no way to know. But I want to help you. I want to advocate for you. I'm pretty good at what I do when it comes to the new construction spaces and knowing what's going on and getting you into the right house that fits you and your family. I'm here for you. Thank you for your time. If you found this video helpful, a thumbs up goes a long way. If you're wanting to continue to learn about new construction here in DFW, subscribe to the channel. We've got new content coming out every week. We will see you in our next video. Bye for now.